Good morning and welcome to Life Without Shakers, and welcome once again to another beautiful day in the Lake District. Once again back in lovely Borrowdale, this time at the Seathwaite end, to begin a journey around Book 4, the Southern Fells. And you find me on the well-trodden path up to Styhead Tarn, but it's not the route you're thinking of, not the Sky Fells today. Starting off along Grains Gill up towards Allen Crags. From there I'll probably take a diversion up to Esk Pike before retracing my steps across Glaramara before finishing on Rosthwaite Fell. Should be about 12 or 13 miles I think, and it's going to be glorious. So let's go. About 2.5 miles in now. I'll look back down glorious Borrowdale, and also the hilltops aren't quite as high now, so getting close to the top of Grains Gill now. So we arrive at Wainwright number 1 of the Southern Fells. This is Allen Crags, 2,572 feet. And we are right in the heart of the highest bits of England now. Got just up the valley Great End and the distinctive summit of Esk Pike. Swinging round we have Bow Fell, and just in front of that the next objective for the day, Esk Pike. And indeed, Wainwright says of this fell, some fells there are of respectable height, of distinct merit of viewpoints, and often in fine situations, which never seem to attract or challenge walkers, and have no place in fireside memories of Leyland. They are left for another day, habitually passed by, and rarely find mention in print or conversation. Such a one is Allen Crags, grandly positioned overlooking Est House. It really is in the heart of things, and on intimate terms with Bow Fell, the Scarfells and Grey Gable. Grand as it is, onwards now to an even grander viewpoint, Esk Pike. And here is Esk Pike from closer to. Quite an imposing face here that I need to climb up, especially since the sun's just gone behind the cloud. And here we are at Esk Pike, 2,903 feet, and it's a landmark summit. It's not only Wainwright number 2 in book 4, it's also Wainwright number 100 in total, and a fitting summit indeed for such a landmark. 2,903 feet. It looks like that little knot of rock where I just was is actually the highest point, but this is where someone's built a cairn, where it's easier to stand up. Wainwright says the central height in the semicircle of fine peaks around the lonely head of Upper Eskdale, nameless in Ordnance survey maps, has long been known to walkers as Esk Pike. In the splendid panorama of the Eskdale skyline, the fell is least prominent, not because it competes for attention with popular favourites such as the Scarfells and Bowfell and the Crinkles, but rather because its top is the furthest removed from the valley and appears dwarfed in relation to the others. Yes, this is in fact a most attractive summit, deserving a separate ascent but invariably combined with a greater objective, Bowfell. But not in today's case, because Bowfell is not on my agenda for today. From here I'm going to retrace my steps back over Allen Crags to Glaramara, brooding in shadow there across the valley. Just stopped for a quick snack at the old stone shelter at Esk House. Wainwright actually devotes 2 whole pages to this point in his book. He says sooner or later every fell walker finds himself for the first time at Esk House, the highest, best known and most important of the Lakeland footpasses. The name Esk House is commonly but incorrectly applied to the lower of the passes, a much trodden route but properly belongs to the higher and less favoured path. What is almost always referred to as Esk House is not Esk House at all. The true Esk House is rarely so named except by the cartographers. Oh dear, Glaramara is a fell that just keeps on going. Already been up 2 things that could have been summits, and now there are 2 more in front of me. I think the furthest one is the true summit of Glaramara, then, hopefully. And this is the true summit of Glaramara, 2,560 feet, Wainwright number 3 in the Central Fells. Prominent in the mid-Borrowdale scene is the bulky fell of Glaramara, which, with an ally in Rosthwaite Fell, seems on the approach from the north to throw a great barrier across the valley, although in fact the level strath turns away to the right to persist as far as Seathwaite. Twin summits of rock rise from a surrounding ocean of grass, each within its own circle of crags. They are much alike and of similar elevation, but indisputably the finer is that to the northeast, the top of which is a rocky platform bearing 2 cairns. This is Glaramara proper, a pleasant halting place on the right sort of day. It is a wonderful viewpoint, looking north to Derwentwater, south back to Esk Pike, Esk Pike, both fell where we've just been, and heading off northeast below us is Rosthwaite Fell, which is our last stop for the day. Finally, for the first time since I left Glaramara, I can actually see where I'm going. I'm at the top of Rosthwaite Cam, which is the highest point of Rosthwaite Fell, but not the summit that Wainwright went to. That is there in the distance just behind the Tarnot Leaves, beautifully named and beautifully situated. I can see the end of the day now, at least. And finally for today, we reach Wainwright's nominated summit of Rosthwaite Fell. This is the evocatively named Bessie Boot, 1,807 feet, Wainwright number 4 of the Southern Fells. Bessie Boot is the most distinctive height in the northern half of the fell, and its small neat top, easily reached through breaches in a surround of low crags, is pleasant enough but somewhat disappointing in the matter of views. The southern half of the fell, of greater general elevation, rises towards Glaramara. The finest of many summits in this section is Rosthwaite Cam, and a really good one it is. Time to soak in the view and head back down to Seathwaite and back to the car. now almost back at Rosthwaite Farm. The end of the day and the end of this opening chapter in my exploration of the Southern Fells. And it's been a grand foretaste of what's to come as well. Some of the views today of the surrounding giants of Lakeland. It's been a bit of a long old walk today as well. Navigating down from Glaramara to Rosthwaite Fell seems to take forever. But it's been enjoyable. Hope you've enjoyed it. As ever, thanks for watching. And hope you can join me next time. Bye.